My name's Owen. I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants campaign.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Krasus, Antares, a Astral Elf Wizard.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm playing Tetra Aeonite, Circle Stars Druid.
Hi, my name's Claire. I am playing Nauthiz, or Now, who is a Dwarven Forged fighter.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Druid.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Niles Silverwind, the monk Owlin.
Hello!
Hi!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen. I am your Dungeon Master of the Return of the Giants campaign. And for those of you who are joining us live on Twitch or watching on YouTube, there's a new face directly next to me. I'm looking at him right now. There he is. Hello. I shouldn't say a fully new face. There are some who will recognize this face. Anyone who watched Tyranny of Dragons campaign knows this face very, very well. But for those of you who are joining us and haven't seen any of Tyranny of Dragons, Simon Wiltix himself has rejoined, not as Wiltix actually, Simon the person is joining us once again. Simon, welcome back to Lost Archives.
Thanks for having me back. It's great to be here.
It is great to have you back, and very, very excited to learn a lot more about your character. For those people who can also see your face, there's a little bit of a spoiler, i.e. your character art and your character's name, but we're going to pretend that that's not there, and for podcast listeners, keep the magic alive, and we'll introduce your character when the party see them in but a moment. And we'll also do a little jump back in time with your character as well. As soon as the party get to your character, we'll jump back and I'll do a bit of an introduction to get your character in, and we'll do some stuff to sort of lead up to this moment. The good news is, of course, you're quite familiar with the homebrew world of Nostea because you played a good 50-something episodes in it in Tyranny of Dragons.
A little while ago, but yep.
The only big changes that have occurred is that the Tyranny of Dragons campaign concluded. Tiamat was defeated and was not released upon the world. However, the Giants did return, if that wasn't apparent from the title of this particular campaign.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a clue. It's good to get the official word on it, though.
It is subtle. I know. I try to sort of keep my cards close to my chest with this stuff. But we'll go.
I thought the campaign was called Return of the Giants. I didn't know it was Giants.
Giant.
Yeah, the Giants. Yeah,
the Giants.
Really going for a joke there, Dave, but I just saw that moment where your brain interjected right as you were saying Giants, and it just paused as if your brain's like, we're not really going to say this, are we, Dave? And your mouth's like, yeah, we are. But it carried on regardless. It looks like he genuinely failed a skill check halfway through that joke.
I had your back, man. I was going to go with it. I was like, yeah, geez, we've fought giant ants already. Like, that checks out. Yeah.
I enjoyed that moment.
Giants yet, so
you haven't
exactly.
Well, I guess that's technically true.
Yeah.
My favorite
anyway,
type of
funny.
true.
I'm sorry, chat. I apologize.
They don't seem to be too worried.
I'll try
Big thank you to everyone who's been joining us live for our Curse of Strahd campaign on Mondays and our Avatar Legends campaign on Tuesdays. But to you Legends joining us for Return of the Giants, you get the biggest thank you right now from me tonight, because this is the premier homebrew 5th edition campaign that we run. Obviously, Avatar Legends is the premier Avatar campaign that we run, but this is the premier 5th edition campaign that we run. So thank you very much for joining us live. If you are joining us live on Twitch, remember you can earn channel points to spend on lots of fun things like giving players advantage or disadvantage, giving me advantage or disadvantage, summoning monsters, and creating NPCs. In fact, tonight we have an NPC that was summoned by a lovely viewer, Brune Brassack's last session, who is a return NPC I'll be bringing back in at the earliest possible moment. I did originally have a bit of a plan to bring the NPC in at the same time as our new player character, controlled by Simon, but in the last 20 seconds as I started speaking, I've had a better idea come to me, so I'm going to do that now. Yeah, so welcome to the Lost Archives. So we're going to jump straight back into it without too much notifications or too many things. The only other piece of news I have to share is for those of you who are looking live, you'll notice that Jared's camera is off. Unfortunately, Jared is not doing super well today. The cold that's kind of been going around and wrecking a number of Victorians and New South Welshmen has struck once more and taken out one of our cast members. So we're wishing Jared a speedy recovery. hopefully he'll be back with us before too long. The other exciting news that I have is that it looks like Claire and Michael might be able to jump back on for a few sessions starting next Wednesday, which means we're going to have the biggest D&D party I have had to DM in at least a year.
Wow.
So,
woo, party!
Party. And it also means I'm going to be doubling the difficulty of every encounter because you'll have 2 extra people. So, perfect.
Naturally.
I'll just double all the monsters. So if you've got channel points saved up, good time to summon monsters when Claire and Michael are back next session. Massive thank you to everyone who's been watching the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom playthrough. I'm absolutely loving it. I have not actually recorded any more sessions of play since last week, but luckily I've got 40 episodes already edited and ready to drop, which have been dropping every single day. If you want to watch those on YouTube, you can. Very, very fun game. I'm pretty much ready to take on Ganondorf now. I've done all of the main quests. It's time to face the music. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it. Plus, there's this thing with the end of the financial year where Simon and I, our jobs get quite busy for some strange reason. We can't quite figure out why. It's very odd. So something about that as well. Luckily, I recorded a whole bunch a little bit earlier. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. And finally, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, we are precipitously close to hitting that beautiful 1,000 subscribers for the YouTube Partner Program. I believe as of today, it's like 777, which is a very auspicious number. You could be one of the absolute bloody legends who clicks that subscribe button and helps us get across that line to the 1,000 subs. If you are one of those people, a massive thank you. If you're not, please do consider subscribing. It will make all of us give you a big round of applause, a big thumbs up, and Dave to make more dad jokes, or less dad jokes, whichever makes you happier. One of those options. Alrighty, that is all the news from me. Let me do a quick recap to get us into the zone of tonight's session, and then we will begin. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Tetra, Niles, Nauthiz and Krasus have been sent to the nearby settlement of Laspire to locate the hill giant fort recently seen flying overhead in the nearby area. Teaming up with Harry, a travelling merchant, the team explored the deserted town, discovering it overrun with clockwork creatures. The source of these constructs appeared to be a large sphere in the centre of town, clearly a remnant of ancient giant tech. The constructs in the process of dismantling and deconstructing every building that they could find. After rescuing a member of the town and escaping back outside the walls, the group learnt that the vast majority of the townsfolk had been captured while hiding in the nearby woods. Travelling to a hidden cave near an underground river, the group observed the people who had captured the townsfolk. They seemed to belong to a cult-like organisation focused on elemental magic, the townsfolk now to be used in their experiments. After some detailed and careful planning, our heroes were accidentally revealed to the cult, the apparent leader spotting Krasus's owl familiar and using some magic to quickly locate the party. After inviting the team inside, the hooded figure disappeared into the gloom of the cave, the rest of the party deciding to follow in. A failed attempt to knock the party out with magic resulted in a brief but brutal fight, ending with most of the cultists dead and the rest incapacitated. While Tetra and Nauthiz escorted 2 of the cultists outside, the rest of the party continued to explore the caverns. Stumbling across a hidden cache of items behind an elaborate illusion, the party acquired some potions and a strange bag of beans. GM note. We left off last session. For those of you who don't know what bag of beans is, you'll find out. It's a ridiculous magic item. We left off last session as the group had delved deeper into the caverns, coming to a river crossing and observing many more mages and elemental cultists beyond. We left off last session as all of you arrived deeper inside this cavern at the edge of a opening in the rockwork that reveals that same bridge that you had seen further down while looking through Krasus's owl familiar eyes with the help of minor illusion. The river below runs quite rapidly over the stalagmites and stalactites, occasionally breaking the surface and leaving behind a little stream of bubbles in its wake. The bridge itself looks to be fairly rickety, almost as if it's been constructed in a hurry. The fire glowing from the torches on either side, casting shadows across it and showing the boards aren't properly lined at all. They've sort of been nailed together quite haphazardly. Krasus's owl familiar, Sova, waits at the far end of the corridor, keeping watch, observing a group of fire mages apparently performing some ritual in a room beyond. And that is where we left off last session. We're going to jump straight back in. I'll be playing Krasus's character. I'll be playing Jared's character Krasus tonight, and he will continue to keep up the owl illusion. There were some discussions at the end of the last session about whether or not you wanted to try and lure people back to the bridge, and Krasus had revealed that if he needed to, he might be able to imitate the voices of one of the cultists using minor illusion. So that was pretty much where we left off. So I pass back over to all of you. What would you like to do?
Maybe we just hide back around that corner, and Krasus, you see if you can call them over? We can just try and stab them sneakily.
Ah, yes, I could attempt to do that. At the moment, though, they do seem rather distracted, focusing on something else in the room beyond. Perhaps we could attempt to call them over, or maybe get a little bit closer. Maybe run back across the bridge.
Maybe we should head across the bridge, get a bit closer. If they seem distracted, might be a good opportunity for us to get the jump on them.
Down to where you guys are.
How high above the water is this bridge?
The bridge sags very slightly in the middle. At the very bottom of the sag, it's only about 40 centimeters above the rapidly moving water beneath. This very dark, quickly moving stream beneath the earth. Not a lot of clearance. Every so often, a little bit of water splashes up through one of the boards, creating a small spray at your feet.
Is Harry able to, go around? I'm looking at the map, right? And north of where we are, there's a rock, and then the wall. Is there any flat ground next to that wall?
Could you ping where you're talking about for me?
So there's a rock here.
Yeah.
And then there's the wall.
Oh no, it's just the perspective of the map. It's a pretty sheer rock face. There's a few places where if you were particularly adept at climbing, there'd be plenty of handholds to move along, but good to keep in mind that the walls of this cavern are slick with water, making climbing a bit trickier than it normally would be.
And there's nowhere under the bridge where we could hide. In a dark kind of area.
The bridge is actually balanced on the edge of the rocky outcropping that connects these two corridors. If you were maybe one person, a small person, could hide under the lip of the bridge at that southeastern entrance, where the bridge just sort of heads off. There's a small section underneath between the poles and the water. Maybe a person quite small could hide there successfully, but no more than one. And even then, they're going to be quite close to that water and potentially risk slipping in. None of you have the frog suit, the froggy set from Tears of the Kingdom. But you did pick up some potions last session. 2 potions.
That is true.
Did anyone roll an Arcana check on those to see if they could figure out what they were?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Krasus.
We had them in inventory and put them in bag.
Yeah, I think Krasus figured out what they were, didn't he? So one was a potion of climbing and one was a potion of clairvoyance.
Correct.
Well, as a hoarder, I don't want to use those potions, but that's up to you guys as well.
Yeah.
For later.
Yeah, when we really need it.
Imagine getting a potion and using it straight away. Who does that?
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Who does that? That's player Matt saying that, not Niles.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I imagine Niles as a bit of a merchant himself probably is wonder what we could trade for these. Ooh.
Yeah. He'd be reluctant to let it go.
Yeah.
It is shiny.
I would rather walk to the Pokemon Center than use any of my potions. I forgot my voice.
You are.
Do you guys want to hide underneath the bridge? I could hide under, and we could call them over and try to grab one of their ankles and pull them out.
Niles kind of looks at the space under the bridge, and he's like, I think perhaps Harry, he might be more adept at hiding under the bridge there. I might just hide behind this corner and step in if need be. A bit big.
As you're speaking, you watch as the illusion Krasus is creating, looking through his owl, shifts and changes. You watch as the 2 mages in the far room step in closer and begin waving their hands about almost animatedly as if they're a bit frightened or concerned about something. And the reason for that becomes clear a second later. You watch as this gout of flame emerges from the floor in front of them, swirling around a figure as the mages rapidly try and contain this fire. Krasus turns towards you, squints down at the illusion as he sort of blinks a little bit, no longer looking through Sova's eyes. I think they fucked up their magic. They might be distracted. Maybe now's a good time if we just...
Go stab them.
Oh, that sounds
What do you
good.
think? We could
Distracted is good.
Yes, they seem to be rather concerned about that ritual they were performing. The fire seems to have gone a bit out of control.
Oh, well, maybe we should get a little closer then. Take a look-see.
Perhaps now is a good time to do that. I've just realized...
Quietly, though.
You
We
can
just want to get away our
try and
position.
move as quiet as we can.
I just realized Simon couldn't see anything on the map. Is that better, Si?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Is that better now?
Someone's pinging something.
I am pinging something.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Simon,
Yeah.
you should be able to see something now. I'll just double check. Yep, vision's on.
Oh.
Yep. Can you see something now? Can you see a room?
Yes, I can.
Great. That's what I wanted to know. Brilliant.
I can,
Thank you. Thank you. Carry on. I just want to make sure that was all set up correctly. Krasus sort of looks at the bridge and goes, who wants to go across the rickety bridge first?
Harry runs across.
Oh, brilliant, Harry. Could you make me a let's say
Stealthily,
acrobatics?
because like he's on his toes, right? So
Yeah.
he's just like acrobatics.
Yeah, acrobatics or athletics check, your choice.
That's in that one.
That's a natural one, Dave. You have a plus
Which
5
goes
to
to a
this.
5. Which goes to a 5. Six. Sorry.
6.
Plus 5, yeah.
Doesn't matter. As Harry goes to rush across, you get about halfway, Harry, and one of your very long digitigrade rabbit feet just goes directly through a gap where you're sure you saw a plank a second ago. But as you just drop and land very painfully in a bit of a splits as your leg just goes through this hole in the wood, the plank underneath you makes this very ominous cracking noise, and a second later you begin dropping through the bridge towards the water below.
Can I grab the bridge on my way down?
Would you like to make me a
I don't know.
dexterity saving throw? Anyone else who wants to step in? Now's a good time to
Niles
do
is
so.
going to step in and grab him. Yeah.
Niles, you're probably quite fast. Your dex would be the highest. Could you also please make me a dexterity saving throw to rush and try? Actually, no, tell you what. We'll say as you rush forwards, you give Harry advantage. Harry, would you like to roll again?
Sure.
With advantage.
I would
on
love
this?
to roll again. That 12 is very average.
12's not great. I hadn't seen that when I called for
Oh
the
my
roll
God.
again.
Oh my
Nine.
I have a
god.
plus 5.
Dave,
Yeah.
what's going on, buddy? Did you forget to pay your Roll20 Pro Rolls subscription this week?
It's because I promoted PlayStation the other week and Games Pass Microsoft took away my sponsorship. So,
For those of you who don't understand what's going on, Dave has consistently managed to throw in a plug for the Xbox Games Pass every single session, somehow. And we've been joking that he's been a paid shill by Microsoft, but last week he accidentally did a shout out for No, it was yesterday. You did a shout out for
Yeah.
PlayStation, and he's now immediately
quick.
being punished. I'm a big fan of this.
Wow.
Lyra, you better get ready to do that. Say that out loud because that's
Yeah,
really good. I would get
so-
on that.
She's got shape water ready to do you instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water. So she's just gonna try and stop it, or at least change it enough to stop him from flowing downstream so that Niles can have another shot at fishing him out, maybe.
Yeah. As that happens, I would go to grab him again.
Brilliant. The 12 is just enough, luckily, with the combined effect of the shape water to slow the current. Because Harry, your feet drop into the water, and immediately you feel them being pulled away out from underneath you as you begin slipping underneath the bridge. Luckily, Lyra's quick shape water / water bending, pulling that water back and holding it in place, gives Niles just enough time to reach out, grab you, and pull you back up onto the bridge. You're a little bit wet. You're a little bit embarrassed, but otherwise you're okay.
Nearly lost you there.
Yeah, cheer, bro. I thought I was gonna. My bad. Well, at least I won't burn when the fire comes this way. Hey.
Oh yes, you're quite prepared now for whatever we face in that room.
as
Well-
long as it's warm.
I'm just gonna lie here for a bit. If you guys wanna, I'm just gonna
Maybe not lie on the bridge though. That's probably not a good idea.
Well, if I lie, my weight's evenly distributed across these planks, eh?
Wouldn't you
Lyra
rather
hands
be?
him one end of a rope.
Yeah.
That's
just
a good
in case.
idea, Lyra.
I think that is a very good idea. Krasus chimes in as he sees Lyra pulling out a rope.
We all just hold on to one part of it. We all walk over, even if one of us goes in. As long as you don't let go of the rope, we should be all right. Unless we all go in which case we're fucked.
Am I able to just glide over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cavern opens up here where the river has carved a passageway through the stone. Niles, you just fly over holding the other end of the rope.
I grab one of the ends of the ropes and I go, oh, I can help with that. And I just glide over to the other side.
Yep.
Easy. Yep.
No problems.
Tie the rope off.
Yeah.
Krasus, Harry, and Lyra, I'm going to need acrobatics or athletics checks from each of you.
Harry crawls
wow,
the whole way
Krasus.
across the bridge.
Okay.
Krasus is just like cracked.
Krasus just nimbly
Oh,
steps from plank
there
to
we go.
plank as he moves along, looking down carefully, just nimbly steps across, no problems at all. Harry, 22, exactly the same story. Lyra, 21. Oh my goodness, well done, guys. Just,
Damn.
you crossed a bridge.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me give you a proper, let's get there.
Yay!
As you all cross the rickety bridge across the subterranean rapids, Krasus, sort of dusting his hands off, goes, well, that was very good. We should run now. And begins taking off down the corridor at a brisk jog.
Quietly, Krasus.
Perfect. As you guys head to the end of the corridor, you see the pathway turns down towards the southwest of where you are, quickly splitting into two passageways, one heading towards the northwest, one continuing to the southwest. Beyond, you can now see that figure wreathed in flame, almost in this cyclone of fire swirling around them, shrinking as the two fire mages try their best to contain this figure held within the vortex of flame. Krasus sort of looks back and goes, enemy of my enemy...
Friend.
Friend? Great. Should we help this person maybe, or see what's going on first for a bit?
Nah, let's cause some chaos.
Done. Krasus is going to move, and then as he gets partway down, stops and goes, I'm gonna stay at the back.
Yeah. Lyra, gonna run up. And are we doing this, guys? Yeah.
Yeah. Harry follows, but he's just dripping water all along the ground as he walks.
Okay, sure, no problems at all. Before
In that case, I talk shillelagh before we engage.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yep, noted. Niles, what were you saying?
Oh, I just said, yes, I think we should, but just keep your voice quiet.
Perfect. Before we roll initiative, because I think we're heading into a place where I need to kind of know what's going on with the turns. Ember. For the past 3 days, you have been held captive by these people. After your exploration into a location in which you thought there might be items that might help improve your chances of competing against the next stage of the Grove Masters challenge that you've taken on. You came across instead what seemed to be an old ancient giant relic. This vast buried obelisk, and inside, as you sort of explored down the deeper depths, you found what could only be described as almost like a pyramidal, an elongated pyramidal shape, similar to like a Toblerone chocolate is the best visual metaphor I can come up with, made of obsidian and bronze. Upon touching it, the object broke into many pieces, one of which embedded itself into the back of your hand. You haven't really been able to figure out what the object does, but you know that it must have drawn these people to you, because not long after emerging from this obelisk, you were ambushed by a group of Genasi, claiming that they had need of your connection with the elements, and that you would be serving a great and noble purpose. My question is, would Ember have gone quietly and willingly, or maybe been a bit less on board with the idea of serving a grander purpose for the elements?
No, I probably would have been interested to see what they're talking about, because that's kind of my thing. I like the elements, and I'm trying to travel for a greater purpose to improve myself. So I probably would have been pretty happy to go, pretty trustworthy.
Okay. Everything seemed fine right up until you were then locked in a cage for 2 days. You've been kept fed, but during that time, yes, you quickly realized that there were others captured here as well. More importantly, these individuals, these cultists, seem very interested in the item on the back of your hand. In fact, it seemed to be the cause of a bit of debate, their leader coming and investigating it as well and revealing that they too had one of these similar items embedded into the back of their hand. For a time, it looked like that might allow you to actually be set free, but a decision seemed to have been reached at some point in the last day or so, and you were brought to this room only about 3 hours prior, and these two mages have attempted to try and drain away your elemental connection, have tried to pull the magic that sustains you and that you have spent so long investing in, have tried to kind of sever your connection to it. This spell has really only just started to go wrong recently. As they attempted to try and break this connection, the flames around you suddenly burst to life, the fire within you taking on a life of its own, and the room has quickly turned into chaos, these two mages desperately trying to control it. As the party begin moving up towards the edge of the room and stare in, the fire around you suddenly, in this burst of almost bright white blue flame, dies right down to this very soft flicker around your feet, revealing you for the very first time. Would you like to describe your character Ember and what they look like? And I'll bring up a picture of them on stream.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, I'm a, what is it, Firbolg, or
yeah,
a small giant.
Yeah.
So I'm about 6.5 feet tall. I've never really measured myself, so don't really mind. Blue skin, brown hair, wearing kind of older looking leather armor. It looks like it's well kept, but it's been handed down for quite a while. And yeah, very, very inquisitive. I've got some pretty almost plain-ish looking armor in that fact, but I've got a little totem in the middle of my chest, which is just a little red and blue, red and white ball. So yeah, aside from that, everything else was kind of normal for someone like me. So yeah.
Yeah, for podcast listeners, Firbolgs, if you're not familiar with them, are almost like a slightly goat-like appearance. Normally about sort of 7 feet tall, around that. Bluish grey to tanned grey skin, often have quite elongated ears. Hair colour can range from dark earthy colours to bright reds and other more vibrant colours. They're generally almost considered almost like a cross between Fae and giants. And for Simon's character, Ember, you are dressed in the very traditional armor and garb of your Druid circle, which we don't have to go into too much detail about, but the garb is very, like layered cloths with feather motifs, very beautiful white feather motifs stitched into a number of the clothings. There are very like warm orange and red colors as a continuing pattern and motif. And your braces in particular are these beautiful, as you say, old, very well cared for old, but very beautifully made braces with these almost like veins of orange through them, which are actually a type of wood that has been embedded inside of the leather itself. Very, very beautiful, very, very beautiful and traditional Druid circle getup for your particular circle. For the rest of the party, could you really quickly describe your character's appearance as Ember looks down the corridor between the two mages and sees suddenly paused, kind of probably a little bit of mixture of surprise and sneaking as they come up, the rest of the party really quickly. Do you want to start with probably the person who drew your eye first is the how tall are you? Like 5.5 tall rabbit who's just standing there.
Wow. I'm a little bunny man. So I'm a Harrington. Brown.
Harengon. Your last name is Harrington. You're getting your last name and your race mixed up again.
No. My family name is exactly.
Harrington.
I'm a Harrington.
Technically correct.
Through and through.
I like that. Technically correct. Nicely done. Well, nice save.
And he's just like a short, stout, merchant-looking, rabbit man. But his cloak is like form-fitted as well, so it's a very functional cloak for a merchant. So he also has a hood, and the cloak is reversible. So on the inside you can see a bit of black. And actually, he's probably in combat mode now.
Probably in the black, yeah.
Yeah, so it's reversible. One side's black and the other side's like fine. So he's in his battle mode. His little hood, which is currently I think down because he just fell in the water, but if he puts it over, his ears can come out through the little holes on the top. By his side is a I can't remember what he uses. A crossbow? Yeah, he's crossbow and
daggers. I think you've been mostly sticking to.
Rapier. Yeah,
rapier. Yeah. Niles, you'd probably be the next one to draw attention, being a owl person.
Yeah. So you see Niles standing sort of in the back. Niles is an Owlin, so very avian sort of features, large wings at the back, but very lithe figure. Very pronounced like talons and clawed feet. Pretty typical of like what a snowy owl might have in our world. Very pronounced, like almost like these big feathers that sort of come out like protruding from his face, which are probably the most, and these large, like very piercing yellow eyes, like non-blinking, just always like big.
And unmoving too, because you can't move your eyes independently. You have to move your head like a proper owl does. So yeah,
it's a little unnerving, maybe, but you get used to it. Other than that, aside from the very obvious,
distinctive.
Yeah, Niles sort of wears this very flowing sort of robes garb. Very much this sort of yin yang motifs along in his cloak, in his clothing. I would say probably it's quite exotic looking compared to what you might have seen just in the world. And like maybe the cloth is like kind of like it's kind of like silky, kind of like easy to move in. Kind of, I guess if Niles was to move very quickly, would like sort of shimmer and move with him. And yeah, he does have a couple of like gold sort of bangles here and there, like one around his like left foot. And he does have like his arms like around his talons are like bandaged up as well. But yeah, definitely this very imposing lithe figure, which just moves very elegantly.
And that brings us to the elves. Lyra, would you like to describe, or Ali, would you like to describe Lyra?
Yep, so Lyra is definitely more elven looking, more humanoid than the other two party members that she's traveling with. She's got very typical druid, long red curly hair, constellation of freckles, and she's wrapped in a blue cloak that you may have seen previously being worn by one of your captors. On the exposed areas...
you put in the cultist's cloak. That's right.
She's a klepto.
Yeah, Ember. One of them's wearing Melania's cloak, but it's not Melania. Melania was one of the water Genasi, a very like competent water Genasi mage who very much fought for your energy siphoning sooner rather than later.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
But I would say that you would recognize the cloak because it's very distinctive. This very beautifully embroidered blue cloak, but that's not Melania wearing it. Like this person could not look less like Melania, where Melania was like light blue skin, dark blue hair. Lyra is this like beautiful, like light tan skin, flowing red hair, almost this like orange red hair. And we should also describe your armor, which can be seen underneath the cloak a little bit, which is pretty distinctive.
Yeah, so as she moves on any bits of exposed skin, you'll sort of see these hard chitinous mycelium almost looking plates across her arms and chest and around her neck. And as she moves, there's like a little bit of snow almost, except it's not snow, it's mushroom spores. And she's just dropping them everywhere that she goes.
It's not
other than
dandruff
that,
too,
she's
which
about
might be an
not
initial
dandruff.
Call her
And
old
yeah, other than that, she's
snowy
about
slopes. She
5 foot
brushes
tall.
off. And finally, the last person is Krasus, Jared's character, who is I think he's a 6 foot tall astral elf. So dark grey skin, white hair, and these spots of bioluminescence across his cheeks. And then this almost like pattern of bioluminescence on his head that forms these, almost looks like a constellation, dressed in this very futuristic looking, almost like a flight suit style armor set that probably as a Firbolg you haven't had too much to do with astral elves, but the armor in places almost has like a soft glow on it, and around his neck is a very prominent ice blue white crystal, and you can see he's currently taking out a spell book and quickly like fluttering through the pages, getting ready to possibly cast some sort of spell as he sort of sees into the room and goes like begins like flicking through, finding the most appropriate spell. I'm going to get everyone to click on their characters and then roll initiative, because we're going to be in a little bit of a timed section here, and I will bring the audience across to a map so that they can see what I can see.
Damn.
Also, this 2. So get rid of that one, and I'll get rid of Tetra, and I'll get rid of Nauthiz. And Sova has her own initiative, so I better quickly pull open the Owl stat block from D&D. Let me know if your turn tokens haven't updated, and I will quickly fix that. Is everyone's turn token correct? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speak to me.
That's the sound of silence. Okay, so let me quickly pull these open too. In this sort of brief moment of confusion, as you see the two mages beginning to try and control this figure, this Firbolg, I would say all of you do know what a Firbolg is, especially Lyra and Harry. You would probably be... probably Niles, actually. So Krasus is probably the least likely to know what a Firbolg is, actually. So Niles, Harry, and Lyra. It's possible, actually, you've seen Firbolgs before. Most likely Lyra has as well. Firbolgs are very commonly members of Druidic circles. In fact, when you were a member of the Circle of the Moon, Lyra, before you have formed your own journey through the Circle of Spores, you would have probably interacted with a number of Firbolgs within the Circle of the Moon itself. They are generally calm, generally thoughtful, but can be fiercely protective of the wilds. And when the wilds are threatened, and when the world that they protect is threatened, they can be fierce defenders of the natural world. But you do also know that some Firbolgs, especially from other schools and other Druid circles, often will be sent out away from their circles and their enclaves for a while to go and see the world and to learn and to explore. Seeing a Firbolg out and about exploring, especially a younger Firbolg, because I think, Simon, how old do you reckon Ember is? So sort of looking, I've drawn the character out as if he's like a young sort of like 20s to 30s, but...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's probably around... No, that's fine, because my understanding is that some Firbolgs can be quite old, so yes. I was making him on the younger side, so 25, 30-ish.
Yeah, so you're quite recently embarking on your journey outside the Enclave, outside the Grove. So yeah, Lyra, you would immediately sort of look at that and go, oh, okay, interesting. And I'd say probably, like, given the garb, given the nature of him, yeah, definitely seems like a Firbolg, either from one of the Firbolg communities in the forests, or possibly from a Druid circle. Alrighty, that is all you would know. Let me put the initiative in order. Harry is the very first to go, and let me chuck on some more appropriate battle music, and we shall begin. Harry, what would you like to do?
Yep, I was muted, but it's all good now.
Nice.
I am very hurt, so let's have a look.
Oh yeah, we're all injured.
You have not rested. I can move. If I dash, I could. If I dash. Okay. Harry will. If I were to shoot a crossbow from down here.
Yeah.
Is Lyra or Krasus in the way, or are we just saying thematically I can shoot through?
So Krasus will have hung at the back anyway. So let me move Krasus to the back. He would have stayed at the back no matter what. So at this point, you're just sort of next to Lyra. You could easily just move up next to Lyra and shoot your crossbow. That's not a problem.
Okay, but for future reference, would that have been?
If you're right up next to them, not a problem at all. If they're standing directly in front of an enemy, it makes it a little bit harder.
Like for example, if I was here and Lyra was shooting. Like that would be a problem?
That might be a bit trickier for Lyra to make a shot. If it's a narrow corridor and she can't get around to make a good shot, that could increase their armor class essentially. I'd treat that as almost like a cover.
So I could just go one to the other way, right? That's how D&D works. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Harry will
you just leave.
Move. Yeah. He will try to hide himself around.
You don't need to hide. They haven't seen you. You just sort of rush up. It looks like their attention is fully focused on this figure in the flames as the flames die down around Ember. Ember, you sort of like hold your hands out ready for a bit of a fight. The fire around you dying down in response to your fear and the danger sense within you. The two mages look on warily. One of them calls out, "What are you gonna do, huh? You can't go anywhere. We've got you trapped here, mate." As they stare you down.
Sorry, when I said hide, I kind of meant tuck in. But I'm going to go tuck in around this corner here, just next to Lyra.
Just move to that pathway to the north a little bit, tuck yourself around it. Yeah, of course.
There's no grid point that I can just I'm just going to go between grid points here. And I'm going to shoot a arrow at this guy here from the crossbow.
Yep.
Which has a sneak attack, I believe.
It does, because they don't know you're there. Yep, they don't know you're there.
16 to hit.
16 is enough. No, it's not. It's just not enough to hit. I'm so sorry.
Well, do we get advantage because we're hidden? Oh,
you do, yeah. So roll again. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, team. I'm using it for advantage, I guess. Maybe. It's an 8. I do nothing.
8.
I will.
Oh, that's a shame.
You just see pew pew as like bolt flying through him. And then Harry's still embarrassed that he's a wet bunny. Will bonus action hide.
Okay, fantastic. Would you like to roll a stealth check, please?
In the corner of the. Can I, as a free action, also look around and make sure that there's nothing coming up from higher up the hallway that I can see or hear?
Yeah. Do you want to roll me a perception check or investigation check?
Oh my gosh, that's a 12 with a +7.
You are being
stealth.
punished, Dave.
Yeah. And perception, you said.
Yeah, or investigation.
Here comes my net 20. Here comes my net 20. No, that's a
13.
That's a 13.
Mildly better.
With the +5. I haven't rolled over 10 apart from that 22. But anyway.
As you listen out, Harry, you can hear the sound of voices coming from the corridor beyond, both the north corridor and the offshoot towards the northeast that you can see just at the edge of your vision from where you are. It doesn't sound like any alarm has been raised just yet, but you can hear voices coming from those directions as if people are talking.
Should have probably checked that first before running into Bill. Harry will notify the others with eye contact, being like pointing to his ears and pointing up the hallway, and just give him a nod. And that is all Harry can do in his turn.
Excellente. Ember, it is actually you next.
Fantastic. So, at this point, I've had enough. I've been trapped in a cage for the last 2 days, and they're now trying to take my power.
Yep.
So, had enough. I'm going to grab my totem off my chest, and I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to throw it in between the two guys in front of me there. So I don't know if you can.
Yep, absolutely. Right in the very center. Yep, not a problem at all.
Perfect. And in a big burst of flames, a small little, my totem's going to land on the ground. It's going to look like it catches on fire for a second, burns down, and then all of a sudden, a big shot of flame comes out, and a kind of winged lizard is probably the best way to describe it from a distance, but I can get into more details from that. Is going to spring out from the middle of that flame.
Yeah,
so,
it's almost like as the crystal that you wear around your neck. As you throw it forwards, the crystal kind of like explodes into flame as this creature suddenly emerges from inside the crystal totem. This sort of red and white jasper. And as this fiery creature emerges out, right in between the two of them, the two fire mages step back in alarm, going, What? What is this? As this creature suddenly emerges between them.
Correct. And they're going to be very surprised, so they need to make a DC, I think it's DC 13 saving throw.
Yep.
Is it a bipedal lizard, or is it on all fours?
No, it's standing on just a rear 2 feet with its hands out like that, and it's got some, well, orange.
Do you want to describe it? I think describe it in detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So, look,
because I haven't finished the artwork for full disclosure.
No, exactly. So, look, it's a small little orangey red creature, so in the body. On its head, it has kind of a bit of a mixture. You can see it's kind of like wearing a helmet, and the helmet itself is kind of made of a bit of a swirl of that red and white colour that you saw on my totem that I threw out. Its hands have small little claws on them, don't look too large or anything, but it also has these large wings that protrude from its back, and the wings are a orangey red like the body, but the bottom of the wings are also white, and the top being like shades of blue and green. So a few different colours going on.
Oh, wow.
And it looks quite hot or warm. It gives like
there's a heat shimmer coming off it, definitely.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he just bursts out from the ground. He's not very big at all. I'm not sure how big they're actually supposed to be, Owen, from sizing, but
we're doing a little bit of home brewery to make this slightly more tailored for what you're looking for. So at the moment, it's a little bit smaller than most of the things are. But as you level up, it will also evolve, shall we say?
Of course. Exactly. I assumed that would be the case. So probably at this stage, you're probably looking at maybe a couple feet. Is that probably? Yeah,
I think that makes sense. Maybe the size of a small dog.
Yeah, something around that.
Maybe a medium. Maybe a medium dog, not a small dog. Maybe a medium dog. It's as big as Gizmo. Your Legato.
That's it. So a fat-looking little thing. So yeah,
I didn't say that. That's all you.
Everyone knows. So yeah, that pops out from the ground, and with it comes a big burst of flames at the same time. So
dexterity saving throws, I believe, for these assholes. One of them is definitely going to fail, I'm thinking, on a 9. And the other one is a 13, which I'm not sure if that passes or fails.
Yeah, so it is a 13, so that's a pass, I assume.
13 is a pass, yeah, no problems at all. So as you summon this wildfire spirit, and this burst of flame pushes out, does it affect, is it half if they pass, or just nothing if they pass?
Let's see, so...
You must succeed on dex save or take 2d6 fire damage. No, so it's they take nothing if they fail, if they pass, sorry. So one of them fails, one of them takes the full damage. Would you like to roll that damage, please?
I would. So that takes 7 fire damage.
7 fire damage. Now, you would think, as this burst of fire shoots out, you would think that these... so one of the fire mages is a fire Genasi. The other one actually isn't a fire Genasi. Luckily for you, the one that rolled the fail wasn't the fire Genasi. So...
Just quietly as well. So I also took the feat of... what was it?
Elemental Adept, I think it's called, right?
That's the one, for fire. So...
We did talk about that. Very, very good decision. So I believe that means you get to ignore resistances anyway. Spells you cast ignore resistance to fire damage, and when you roll damage for a spell that you cast that deals fire damage, you can treat any one as a 2. That is very, very useful, because a lot of things are resistant to fire damage. That suddenly makes fire damage absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter actually that this is an Earth Genasi. Even if it had been a Fire Genasi, this still would have done the full damage. As this burst of flame shoots out, you watch as this Earth Genasi dressed in these fire robes suddenly puts his hands up and screams as you watch as this skin on his hands and arms begins burning away. His robes actually catching fire as he desperately tries to put them out with his scorched hands. Both of them looking down at this creature in confusion, trying to figure out what this thing is.
Yeah, so that is, at this stage, I'm probably like 10, 15 feet from these guys. Is that probably right?
Yes, I can tell you exactly. You're 10 feet-ish away from one, 15 feet away from the other-ish. Yeah, about 10, 15.
15 from the other. Perfect. So I am going to, and how wide's the hallway? It's probably about 5-ish.
Just over 5 feet, about 8
wide?
feet wide. It's sort of like halfway between the 5 and 10 feet.
Okay. And were there any other of anyone else that was captured?
No,
in
you
my
were
room as
taken
well?
away from the room towards the north. So there's a large room full of other captives in a room to the north. A large cage full of captives in a room to the north. You were taken from there only recently. They actually knocked you out to do this. So you don't know how long it's been since you were in that cage with the other captives. Seems like people from a nearby town, they kept muttering about some sphere and these clockwork monsters. City folk. I mean, weird stuff happens in cities. You tend to avoid cities as much as you can. It sounds like city problems to a T.
That's it. All right. So look, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to whistle and say, "Wigger, come here!" And then all of a sudden he's just going to disappear from where he is, and he's going to shoot back to next to me.
Nice.
Just
Brilliant.
In a flash.
Yeah, you can leave him there if you want. I don't think you need to call him back if you don't want.
No.
You don't want him there.
Well, no. So as I leave the area, they're also going to take. I'm going to move him back out. So they're going to take a. So again, they have to take another DC saving throw, or take.
As it leaves.
As it leaves.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Here we go. Summon Wildfire Spirit Command. In combat, shares your initiative count, takes a turn immediately after yours. Its only command is the dodge action unless you give it a command instead. Yeah, the spirit in each living creature of your choice within 5 feet teleport. Yeah, amazing. Oh my goodness, that's so good. That's so good. The creature disappears in this burst of flame, or like leaving behind this sudden swirl of fire and smoke before rising up next to you, emerging from the ground at your feet. And as it nuzzles into you and makes this sort of chirping noise, it then looks towards these two mages. It lowers its head a little bit, raises its wings up threateningly, and hisses at them.
Love it.
Yes. As it looks at them. Anything else on your turn, Ember?
No. So do they both
roll
pass
damage
the
for them?
DC
Yes.
saving
Sorry.
throw?
No. They need to make a DC saving throw. I will make that right now. 13 again.
Okay, pass. Yep.
12 and 7. I was asking, is the DC 13? 12 and 7 is 2 fails. Would you like to roll me some more damage?
Beautiful. Yep. So that is
1d6 plus 2.
plus 2, so that's a 4.
Nice. Very nice. 4 damage to each of them. Did you roll a 1 on that, by the way? No, that was a 2.
No, I rolled a 2.
Yeah, damn. 4 damage. As the flame burns around them, they both cry out in alarm again, very confused as to what's going on. Sova is going to use its action to give Krasus the help action. Niles, it is your turn.
Yeah. Niles sees this all going down. Sort of looks. He sees he probably would have seen Harry take a shot.
Yep.
And
miss.
he goes.
Across
he
the
goes.
box.
Oh well. Looks like there's someone that needs our help. And he is going to run on in.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my tomb to punch.
Probably gonna get to he's not gonna have enough room, enough speed to get all the way into combat. So he's just gonna run run all the way up to about here.
You could have been a bit further forward if you guys wanted, because remember, Krasus was at the front of the party and I kind of moved him around. If you wanted to actually be right next to Lyra for that extra 5 feet, because I moved Krasus around and kind of changed the marching order a bit. So
that would be great. Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of go up behind this mage that's been distracted, and he's just gonna try and knock him out. Not that he has a lot of but he's gonna try anyway. He's gonna do it.
The mages have no idea you're there. The crossbow bolt that went over, I rolled a quick percentile dice to see if they noticed. Perception check. They did not. So as you suddenly emerge from the shadows and just punch this guy in the head, and then punch him a few more times, do you want to roll some attacks?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have my flurry of blows up at the moment, but I'm still gonna do with my hands. So he's gonna take an unarmed strike to the head.
25 is gonna hit.
That's a 25 for 6 points of damage. Bang.
Nice.
And then a bonus action, he'll do the same thing.
Brilliant.
That's going to be a 23.
23. Matt, are you taking all of Dave's rolls tonight?
Yeah, I paid roll 20. I saw the subscription hadn't been paid by Dave, so I was hey, by the way, I'll just sneak on in there and yep. That's going to be 7 points of damage.
It is indeed, as you just punch the crap out of this guy.
I'm probably just to preface this. I am probably trying to just knock out. I'm not outright trying to kill this guy. I'm going for non-lethal in this case. More trying to be quiet about it too. I'm trying to really hard to take him out without him realizing, but realizing he's probably still standing after I've delivered 2 blows. I'm just kind of he didn't go down. They usually go down after the first hit.
As you rush up behind and just punch this dude, bam, bam, right in the back of the head. His head knocks forwards and you hear this click from his neck. And then as he slowly raises his head back up and turns around towards you, eyes wide, you just watch as flame dances across his fingers. I'm gonna kill you for that.
Oh, hello to you too.
Perfect.
I let out a nervous hoot at the end of that.
Amazing. Krasus is up next. Krasus is going to quickly look at his spells and his spell slots that he has left, mutter a little bit about how annoying it is, and then he's going to cast Magic Missile and try and knock these guys out with a quick blast of spells. So I need to do more than just that one. Sorry, let me just quickly roll. He should have how many missiles? He gets 3 missiles. Let me do that. There we go. So Krasus deals 2, 3, and 3. He's going to pile on most of the damage to the one that Niles has been attacking. In fact, he's just going to go for it. Krasus is the only one he can see. Krasus just flips through spell and goes, yes, I think this should do the trick. Pulls out his finger and then a gun just goes pew pew pew, and you watch as these darts of force fly out from his hands, streaking through the air over Lyra's head, past Harry's ears, as they strike into this figure, dealing a total of 8 damage. As the darts smash into this figure, he drops backwards a little bit, falling and stumbling, and then he's coughs up this burst of blood, looks towards him and goes, "We're under attack!" But unable to speak because he's been winded by this blast of magic missile plus the attack from Niles. The mage next to him though looks ready to try and call out. Lyra, it is your turn.
All right. Not wanting to leave Niles all alone up there, she's gonna go with full movement. So about there, just tuck up just behind him. And then she's gonna bring out old Swampy.
Okay,
so
summon the symbiotic
the
entity.
mycelium that sort of naturally just sort of in the chitinous plates on her body, it all sort of starts to look more alive and bubbles up around her to sort of form this giant sort of swamp monster. Just a big ugly thing, and affectionately named Swampy.
The strands sort of come together, forming almost what looks like hair in a way. This giant hairy beast standing over you protectively, emerging from your back like some vast behemoth rising from your shadow.
Yep. So is it the fire mage is down? Yeah.
He's not down. He looks like he's taken some damage and is like trying to call out, but is a bit winded as a result of the brutal attacks from Niles and Krasus. The fire mage, the Earth Genasi fire mage, has taken a little bit of damage, but not looking too bad, and looks like he's ready to sort of like call out in alarm.
Right. As my sort of preemptive reaction, because I've already used my action just to bring out Swampy, she's gonna have what's it called? Circle of Spores ready.
Yep.
To at the beginning of his turn, she will sort of have the spores already down, and when he starts his turn, she's gonna try and unload a little bit of damage onto him with her reaction.
Okay. It is his go. As he immediately goes to call out, you may activate your Circle of Spores feature, the Halo of Spores. Because he's within 10 feet of you.
Damage, and does that double that? Yep, so it's a DC 13 con.
That is an 11. That is a fail.
Hell yeah. Sorry, just reading through the...
So 4 necrotic damage
plus, double damage. So do I roll it again, or do I just...
roll it again. Roll it again.
Yeah.
Whenever we do doubles, it's always best to roll.
Doesn't matter anyway.
A 4.
Another 4.
8 damage. Would you like to... Actually, I'll do it. I'll roll. For this guy who's like breathing in your spores and suddenly choking, I'm going to roll a Constitution saving throw to see if he's able to call out through them. That's a 4. I'm going to give that a no. As this dude goes like, ready to call out, the spores that are emerging from your symbiotic entity just fill his lungs, and you watch as his eyes go wide, blood suddenly pooling out of his mouth and nose and from the corners of his eyes as he goes, and this black fluid begins to seep out from between his teeth as he drops to the ground, choking and vomiting up blood and spores. They are still going to get their goes. The mage who failed his con save, the Earth Genasi one, is going to stand up using half his movement, choking and coughing on these spores. He is going to grab his sword, run his hand down it, setting it on fire, and he is going to... Actually, he's not going to do it with his dagger. No. He is going to cast... They want to kill you as quickly as possible and as effectively as possible. I'm thinking... Yeah. They're actually going to return with a... he could do a Thunder Wave. I think he's going to do a Thunder Wave. It's loud, it draws attention, it potentially gets a few of you. Yeah, he's going to do a Thunder Wave. It might hurt his friend, though. Oh, well. That's fine. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about that right now.
Die anyway.
They need to kill you. The Earth Genasi Fire Mage just like drops and slams his fist into the ground. Everyone within 15 feet of him, which is Niles, Lyra, the other Fire Mage, and Ember, I need you to all make me Constitution saving throws.
Oh no. Okay.
This emanates a thunderous boom audible 300 feet away.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
That should be large enough.
Maybe they'll think it's
okay.
they're casting.
What was that, sorry?
Maybe the enemies will think it's part of the spell that they're currently casting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Niles, 14 is a pass. Lyra, 12 is a fail. Ember, 8 is also a fail. And does your fire spirit need to make a roll? Probably does, because it has HP, right? Yeah, it has hit points.
Yes.
So yes. What does it use for its stats?
It's got its own stats.
Oh, it does. Perfect. I was just trying to see the wildfire spirit stats. Is it hidden away? Is it
Yeah. If you, I can.
Oh
see
yeah,
on
here you go. It's a stat.
the
It's a stat
on-call.
block. Got it.
So, if I roll that, that's.
Is that a natural 20?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
So, Yeah, it's going to be half damage on this bad boy, obviously. So that is going to be, for those of you who failed, you are going to take 4 damage. It's not that bad.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It's not too bad at all. That was 2d8, and I got 4. I rolled 2 2s. And for those of you, so those of you who failed take 4 damage. Those of you who passed only take 2 damage. And for those of you who failed, you are also pushed 10 feet away from this creature, from the Earth Genasi mage. Man, that's nuts.
That's unfavorable.
Ah, yeah, I've got the stats here. Yeah,
Niles
2d8.
just
That's
hit the wall.
pathetic for 2d8. Yeah, so you're pushed. Actually, you're pushed. Oh no, yeah, he's down there. Yeah, you just pushed up against the wall. Niles, you're pushed up against the wall. I will roll for his friend really quickly, which I had actually forgotten to do on the con save. That is a natural 1 for his friend, who also takes 4 damage and is thrown up against the wall too. He responds with a. Oh, he's not happy. I think he's probably going to do a. Do Dragon Breath? Let me just check.
Uh-oh. He's not happy at his friend though, right?
He's not happy at his friend, but he's crosser at you lot.
That makes no sense.
What do you mean?
Right?
Bullshit.
What do you mean? It makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's going to... You watch as he pulls out from his belt a small potion vial that looks to be made of this like strange roiling red fluid. He pops the lid, drinks it down, and then goes... as this burst of flame shoots out from him. I need Niles and Lyra to both make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Ah!
Oh no!
That's right. It's not too bad. Niles, 24 is good. Lyra, 6 is bad. It's all right. I rolled terribly on the damage. That's going to be 13 damage to Lyra. Niles, that is
Yikes.
halved for you.
Halved? Are we? So that's 6?
Yes. Always round down.
How's Lyra looking?
Lyra's
Not great.
fine, but Swampy's down.
Oh, you watch as the
no.
flames just
Oh,
burn
yeah.
away the entity, the symbiotic entity around you, as it just is it's just obliterated by this effect. It just burns away into nothingness with this sad, mournful cry. Ooh.
Oh, that's sad.
Fucked up Simon.
He'll be back.
Why did I do that? He'll be back. Like the Iron Giant. It just gives a thumbs up. That is the 2 mages go. Harry, it is your go next. Your perception check from before, with that boom echoing through the corridors, you hear a voice calling out, "Maybe it's best if we go and check on that, sir."
Oh no.
Is there anywhere Harry can hide
Yeah.
to ambush these people? So I guess maybe Harry takes a quick look. He knows he could double back to like just the start of the bridge here.
Yeah.
And maybe try to pull Krasus along with him, so that Krasus isn't just standing in the middle there when they run past.
Yeah.
But is there somewhere
otherwise-
along the wall, like where he could do Naruto style of like, a sheet of paper that looks like
No.
rock and hide behind it? Or anything like that?
Not
Is there-
without
is there,
an
like, inlet?
incredibly good stealth check.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard
So-
to hide in a narrow corridor carved out of the stone around it. Very difficult.
Yes, I figured, Owen. Okay, so here he will. Harry sees his friends, and he trusts that they can take those 2. So what Harry will do, he'll use 30 feet of movement.
It's like Harry's going to split the party.
Oh, risky.
So that we can tunnel them in later when we want to, is the idea. So 30 feet of movement gets me to this tile here, right? Is that an acceptable place that I could hide if they come down this team section?
You could try and hide behind that gap in the corridor there. Yeah, definitely. You're not sure how good a hiding place it'll be for how long. If they continued walking along, they would stumble across you pretty quickly.
Would you give me a penalty if I tried to pull Krasus along with me, or like
No.
into my movement?
You can
or
just
is that-
drag Krasus with you around the corner. That's fine. He's right there with you. He's like literally next to you.
Okay. Harry was standing at the edge of this tunnel before, and he knows it's about 60 feet. So like he knows it's going to take a while for anyone to actually respond to it.
Yeah.
So I guess before he moved, could he take a shot on that? The
absolutely.
Fire mage?
Yeah. You probably would have only had a view of the Earth Genasi fire mage.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that from? Did I get my stealth check? Am I hidden or am I?
Yep, you're hidden. Yeah. Stealth check definitely passed.
Okay. Oh, cool. So I'll roll. That's a 17 to hit.
Yep.
It's with advantage, so I roll again, right? In case
exactly
it's
right. 17
again. I'll take
8
the first damage.
piercing damage, and 7 sneak attack. 17 does definitely hit.
Yep, so that's 15 damage to the fire mage.
Harry, how do you want to do this?
Ooh, nice.
Harry shoots a bolt. No one sees where it came from, I assume.
Yeah.
Because he's down the hallway.
You're hidden.
Because no one could actually literally see him. He's not very well hidden. And it comes from behind the Earth Genasi, hits him in the back of the knee, and pins him down to the ground. Knocking him out, I guess.
That's the question. Lethal or non-lethal damage?
I'm aiming for lethal, but the description is quite non-lethal, right? But I thought it'd be cool.
I was going to say maybe it severs through, and you just watch his blood begins gushing out of his leg, and as he slips over trying to hold the artery closed, the femoral artery's just been completely severed by this shot, and there's blood just gushing out of this wound, and he seems unable to stop it.
Done.
That's a very dark way to kill someone, Dave. I just want that on record.
Harry is not a lovable bunny rabbit.
And you described specifically this action. I just want that on record too. Yeah. This was your choice. I asked you, how would you like to do this? And you've chosen to let this man bleed out from a cut in the femoral artery.
That's nasty.
That's dark, bro.
Harry gives a wink, but no one can see.
I ain't no Easter
Harry
rabbit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I ain't bunny. So Harry will then hide behind this corner here. I don't have a held action because I use my action to shoot, so I will.
That's right.
But it's actually hide.
Brilliant. Ember, it is your turn.
Perfect. So, which one did you say was down? There was the
Earth Genasi mage. I will put a big red cross across his face so it's clear that he's dead. How's that?
He dead.
He dead. He's still at this point. He's still dying because it takes a few minutes for blood loss to kill you. Exsanguination. Exsanguination is the specific thing you've done to this man. That's the process by which you die from excessive blood loss. If you were wondering.
Yep. Perfect. And the other two people that I haven't met yet, but look like they're trying to help me out.
Yeah, you watched as they rushed in, put their life on the line, and then took a pretty brutal hit that also knocked you back as well. Yeah,
so do they look quite injured from that?
Lyra's looking pretty burned. Yeah, the woman who looks a lot like a druid.
And Niles is probably pretty beat up too at this point, just saying.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna Flicker, go help. He's gonna fly across to the two of them.
Yep.
Because they're both next to each other essentially, aren't they?
They're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Perfect. And once he moves up to them, he's going to let out just a little bit of a little bit of a hissing noise, and then I'll say, "Bring them back." And both of them,
fetch, Flicker, fetch,
fetch. Yeah, exactly right. And it's going to shoot them back 15 feet further into the room with me.
Oh, that's cool.
And leave an explosion of flame as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. I will make a Constitution saving throw. You can see now why this is one of my favorite subclasses of Druid.
Oh, yeah.
Dex saving throw, was it, or Constitution? Dex saving throw.
DC, yeah.
Dex saving throw. That is a 10. That is a fail.
Perfect. So, that will be... Oh, where did it disappear to? Hang on. There we are. That is 8 damage. 8 fire damage.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness. That is enough. That's 2 hit points over. Ember, how does Flicker want to do this?
Well, I mean, as I said, he just kind of he flashes away in a quick shot of fire. So I assume that he goes next to the two people we just met. He spreads his wings out and then just goes, ha, and like kind of spits or like, launches fire out of his mouth and just goes, ha.
Yeah.
Burns him really quickly and then, disappears in that flame. So
that is exactly what happens. As this burst of flame emerges from Flicker. Yeah, because with the two of them standing next to the Fire Mage, if you had Flicker on top of Lyra, you could pull Lyra and Niles with you and damage the Fire Mage. Yep, absolutely. As this burst of flame leaves behind you, watch as the Fire Genasi, watching the fire burn across him, seems almost surprised when it continues to cut across this very almost like blue-white flame, hotter than a normal fire. Burns across his skin, and all you hear is this strangled as he just drops to the ground, smoke rising from his cloak as fire wraps around him. The other mage, who's like still trying to hold his femoral artery closed, slowly keels over and drops lifeless to the ground. I'm not going to take you out of initiative yet, though.
Okay.
What I will do, though, is I will pause it at that point as you hear the sound of footsteps coming from the corridor beyond. As a figure emerges from around the corner up towards the north and begins like peering down the corridor, you hear a voice call out, "Sidus, you okay down there?"
Or do I know the names of the two? I'm assuming the people that I just have been spending the last few days with.
Do you want to make me a quick history check to see how much attention you've paid to pick up the names of these people? 11. I mean, they haven't really used their names as much in front of you as you might have thought. The name Sidus rings a bell. You're not sure about the other name, though. It's on the tip of your tongue. Like, you recognize it. You go, oh, yeah, Sidus. And then you're like, oh, fuck, what was the other guy's name?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to look at the other two people in the room and see, assuming they've got no reaction to those names, because I don't know who they are.
We just shrug.
Yeah, I love it. Just shrug.
Krasus at this point, I think, is going to quickly minor illusion Melania's voice. He's going to use illusion. He's going to use Melania's voice. He's going to give it his best shot. So I will roll for Krasus. I'll do it as if it was a spell attack, and we'll see how he goes. 10. That's not great. All is well, peons. Carry on with your work. Melania, I'm busy. Is Krasus's attempt. There's this pause, and then you hear the voice from you go, Melania, is that you? What are you talking about? Is everything okay? What's going on in there? I'm coming to take a look. And the figure begins walking down the corridor. You hear footsteps moving towards you. Krasus turns towards you, Harry, and goes, fuck, that didn't work.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was a very average attempt, actually.
Well, I gave it my best. As the figure emerges down to the corridor, what are the rest of you guys doing? What would you like to do?
If we have a free time to move,
you've got 6 seconds, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Niles probably realizes he's like right in the middle of the corridor, and he'd probably like bolt off to the side of the room just to sort of get out of eyesight. Probably move up a little bit, probably just behind this door here. Just like there. And then just kind of puts his talon up to his beak. It goes like,
yeah.
Oh, like just yeah.
Lyra, you pull up your hood. Is there anything else you want to do, Lyra?
She's gonna move so that she sort of has a little bit of cover, but so that the sleeve or some part of the cloak is visible, that Melania is still standing and is in the room. Other than that, she might try and
at the corner, trying to sort of stand at the corner and have just your arm visible or the hood,
like almost
like facing the other way, facing away from them, so they can just see the back of you.
So she's just like got her back to their like left arm out kind of thing. Like you can see her elbow. The cloak's clearly hers. And then maybe she might try and wave him off if he comes closer. like just like a stop.
And Niles probably also thinks about like dragging the body with him, but then sees all the blood, and he's just like,
Fair enough.
he
Ember,
probably would drag it just to like get it out of eyesight.
Yep. Just pull the body with you a little bit. Ember, would you be doing anything?
Yeah, so I would probably see that these guys don't know who it is, and I'm worried now. I want to try and get out of this place. Been there for too long, so I'd probably use my Firbolg magic to disguise myself as to look like one of the two guys that we just killed.
Very nice. Yeah, you can cast the spell Disguise Self. You are a Firbolg. You have it as an innate spell that you can cast, I think, once per day. So
that's cool.
You take on the appearance of one of these other cultists. The Fire Genasi or the Earth Genasi? Which one would you like to disguise yourself as?
As the Fire Genasi.
Fire Genasi,
yep.
Perfect. And I'm guessing you then sort of move up next to Lyra to stop them sort of coming into the corridor, into the open room.
Correct.
Yeah,
because I can recognize what she's doing because I've seen that other person that she's taking the robe from before, and I'm gonna try and like block half of her as well, so that way they can probably see the robe still and think that person's in here.
I mean, if you stand it mostly in front of her as well, the corridor's quite narrow. It kind of pushes the perspective of her back a little bit, makes it harder to see her past you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go there.
Great.
So.
As you do, you watch as an Air Genasi emerges from the corridor towards the north west. As he sort of turns and begins walking towards this chamber, Harry and Krasus, he doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Harry wanted to hold an action.
Yes.
From where he is, he's hidden around the corner. He's gonna peer across. But
I'd like to shoot this guy in his testicles with my crossbow, so that he bleeds out even slower than the last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him through his anus so it goes out the front.
I would like to kebab this gentleman.
And so I better not say the next part. That's actually probably more than PG. So yeah, but he'd like to hold an action to. Nice. Wait till he gets to the very end of the corridor.
Yep.
At least. And if things go wrong, he'll just take the shot. In general. So if things go wrong, he wants to take a shot. Yep.
That's fine. That's I think that's clear enough. Easy peasy. Krasus is going to do the same thing. Alrighty. Let's do this. As the Air Genasi moves around the corridor and begins heading towards the chamber, he sees you in front, Ember, in disguise. Looking at you, I believe Disguise Self also changes your clothing, if I remember correctly. It allows you to disguise yourself. Yes, it does. Perfect. And I mean, you've had a really good look at these guys. You know what they look like. You know what they appear as. As the knight, as this Air Genasi knight begins walking out, he goes, Sidus, how'd you go with the prisoner? Is everything okay? Is it all working as to plan? Oh, Melania. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were overseeing this. My apologies.
He just nods.
The hood just nods.
Remembering what happened last time she tried to imitate her.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just going so, and
with your hands,
not really saying anything. Just with my hands. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna say anything at this point.
The figure's gonna stop walking, sort of look at you and go, we thought we heard a loud boom. Was that you? Is everything okay? Do you need assistance?
I'm just gonna laugh and go, no. I'm not actually gonna say anything. I'm just gonna laugh and say,
Could you make me a performance check, please, Ember?
Oh, sorry.
I have to ask for a check of some sorts. I'm gonna make it a performance check.
If Lyra can wave her hand away at the Air Genasi in an attempt to sort of help Ember
dismiss
in
him.
some possible way, just like leave us, we are talking.
This is such a hilarious scene.
You're in the road.
You okay? And he's just like,
It's like walking up to someone in an Italian restaurant being like, "Oh, waiter, do you have any? What's on the menu?" Wait a minute.
That's right.
Wait a minute. I am going to allow the help action for this, given that you are in costume, you are disguised, and as this figure walks closer, you like sort of wave them back as if they're disturbing you and bothering you. I am going to allow a reroll on that. Simon, would you like to reroll that
That's
fair?
hilarious.
Oh, I don't know if I want to, but we'll see.
Performance check is +0, so currently it's 12. That's a 6.
Oh,
We
no.
will take the 12. The figure, the Genasi sort of pauses, looks at you, really confused, nods and goes, "Right, well, if everything's okay, I'll go report back." Gee,
Thanks.
just nod. Just nod and thumbs up.
Yep.
The figure, like, slowly nods. Looks very, like, unsure, and then backs away.
Can Harry do an insight check to see if he believes them?
Yeah, Harry can do an insight check.
Oh yeah.
That is a very
Well.
average 12.
Oh, what are these rolls?
Harry, I mean, he just seems a bit weirded out, as you would be too in this situation. He just seems a bit confused. As he sort of like gets to the corridor, he stops, looks down, cocks his head, shakes it a little bit, shrugs, and then turns and walks back up the corridor, disappearing from view.
Can Harry follow to this edge of the corridor here and just
Yeah,
listen?
yeah, and
to
listen
see if
in.
he's like,
As you listen in, Harry, you hear the figure walk back in. Another voice goes, "Well, what was it?" "Not sure. They seem to be acting a bit odd, but Melania was there overseeing it, so I think it's all okay." Another voice, one that you haven't heard before, almost has this kind of like hissing whisper-like quality to it, and weirdly, almost like an echo behind it. "Well, not much to concern yourself with. Melania will ensure the energies required are collected, and my experiments can continue. This sample is an interesting one."
Okay.
That's what you hear, Harry.
Harry comes over to the others and my name's Harry. How are you going?
Oh yes, we haven't done introductions. Hello there.
Not nice to meet you guys. Are you trying to escape now too, or
Well,
how
we
did you
were
end up
actually
here?
trying to rescue. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there more people down here, or are they more like?
Oh,
There are
Ember,
more people down
Ember,
here.
you've seen at least 4 or 5 others.
Yeah.
To be fair, though,
Well,
you don't know how
yeah.
many they've killed back at the entrance. So,
Well, so like I was just like eavesdropping with these big Harengon ears, right? I'm Harry Harrington, and it sounds like there's like a snakish kind of sounding guy. It's kind of creepy. Maybe he's that special one that they were talking about earlier, but
Yes, the white one with the crystal.
yeah. He sounds like he would be quite pale.
Have I seen these people, Owen? Like the other ones that
the one that they're speaking about, you've definitely seen a figure. Almost looks like a air Genasi, but with these crystals. Not an air Genasi, sorry. Almost looks like an earth Genasi, but their skin is like this white marble, and there are crystals jutting out from inside their skin. That's the one who has the thing on the back of their hand. The one that you've only heard the others refer to as the Exalted One. Who was
so I haven't
was very keen on harvesting your energy. Was how it was
I
pitched
don't know
to
his
you.
name. Only seen him in passing, or just only heard of him?
Only seen him in passing. You've often caught him watching you when you were imprisoned, watching you in the cage. Before that, you were asked to do a demonstration of your powers, your elemental powers, for this Exalted One, and judging from your reaction before, it sounds like Ember probably would have been a bit like, yeah, okay, I can show off I show off my stuff. That's what kind of got you into trouble a little bit, performing for this Exalted One. Yeah, much more than that, you're not sure.
Yeah, no, look, I've seen, I don't know his name, I call him Sparkles, but yeah, no, there's definitely other people down here as well. I think we should try and help and get them out if you guys are up for it.
Well, that's partly why we're here. We went to the city of the Spire and found that the villages there were all gone. There were some other mechanical things there. We'll get to that later. That's a longer story. But yeah, we heard that the villagers were here, and we went to try and get them. But then there were these cultists, and I think the rescue mission has gone a little bit, a little bit tits up. So
now, Niles, don't be negative, Krasus says as he sort of steps into the room. He holds out a hand to you, Ember. Krasus Antares of the Flying City of Volgus. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ember.
Speak for yourself, Krasus. I've taken 1 or 2 hits from these nasty fellows. Now Silverwind. Pleasure.
Oh, very nice to meet you too, Niles. Is everyone here looking damaged, or is there only... you said before
everyone's looking pretty hurt,
See,
actually.
I don't know about you guys, but hi, Lyra. But yeah, at the very least, I'm gonna have a bit of a. I need at least like a really, really short nap. I mean, I kind of need Swampy back.
A short nap. Lyra, have you seen where we are?
Oh,
Sparkles is just in the other room there.
Well, now, but hear me out. They think everything's fine in here, and Ember, I don't know how much they told you, but was this going to be a long process or a short process to whatever they were doing to you with fiery stuff in here?
Oh, well, I was going to hold out for quite a long time, even if they thought it was going to be quick. So I think we might have a little bit of time.
Maybe this room is a good place. It's defensible. We have a single corridor entrance. We could grab a nap here if we wanted. I myself, as an elf, don't need to sleep. I could watch the door.
8 hour nap.
That seems like a longer nap than we might have time for,
It's a
Harry.
pretty long nap,
But
mechanically speaking, I don't have much hit dice left for a short rest. Only just the one.
What is a hit dice?
Yeah, what is a hit dice?
It's these dice that you hang up on the front of your car and you hit them. Like a bit of entertainment when you're driving.
That's what the merchants have these days. I should get a pair.
Yeah, it's a novelty item, but it sells well.
Oh, do you have some on stock?
Yeah, I do. He hangs some up.
Really not sure this is the time for this right now, given our rather precarious situation.
Oh yes, I am.
1 silver.
the way that I see it, we have kind of 2 options. We can try and take a bit of a short rest here, and I'm not sure. I mean, I'd get a bit of Swampy back, but again, I'm also don't sort of have much left in the tank, so to speak. I really don't want to think about leaving the villages here, but I think progressing on in our current state would be kind of suicidal, don't you think?
Yep. Especially with the white Exalted one around. He it sounds like he picks a punch.
I'm going to be a ridiculously nice DM right now and reveal behind the curtain a little bit. If you were to take a short rest or a long rest now, you would be benefiting from a level up.
Yeah, a short rest sounds really good, actually. At least
Yes, I could go for a little short rest. That sounds rather good.
Going to be a phenomenally nice DM, and
I think we were always going to take at least a short rest anyway. I think the question was
I think the short rest was definitely on the cards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
mostly
just the
because
spell slot for Lyra without healing is kind of terrifying. Was
Yeah.
Shape Water a cantrip, or was it a level
Shape
spell?
Water is a cantrip, but
Thank
my
goodness.
spells come back on long rest.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like with the level up, any new spell slots that are unlocked by that, you get those spell slots as available.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good for a rogue.
And like with the level up, it kind of is like a full reset. So feel free to heal yourselves up as if you had taken a long rest. Normally, I would insist on a long rest to get the level up, but given that the way you're kind of set up in here and how it's going, and you have earned the level up, you had actually even earned it last session, but there wasn't really a way to thematically tie it in. I'm realizing that's a similar situation here. So what we can do is you can take a bit of a short rest. I'll say that the mages on them carry what appear to be very, very powerful healing potions. Potions of rejuvenation that you have not seen before. That restore your spirits and heal your broken bodies quite rapidly.
Oh, my fur's never been so glossy.
It's very true.
Look at the sheen on these feathers. Wow.
No longer on fire.
I obviously won't level up Krasus's character. I won't level up Krasus without Jared. But everyone but Ember may benefit from a level up. Ember is already level 4.
Hell.
Oh, nice.
That's very good for me.
Ember came in at level 4.
So, do we gain a hit dice every time we level up? Or?
Yes, but you can.
Oh, you
also,
got the potions, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, you can fully rest up and relax. Yeah. I'm happy to sort of rule that, and yeah, there's these like potions of rejuvenation that as you enjoy and drink, they basically give you the benefit of a long rest. In a short rest span of time. I will now have to create this as a homebrew item and actually include it somewhere. Maybe it's like a very rare potion that is like specially brewed over the course of many years, and these mages have been saving up probably for years to afford these potions, and you just drink them down. Enjoy them. I guess they can't use them anymore.
These are delicious, eh?
Alrighty. All of you enjoy your brief level up and your brief rest. While that's happening, Ember, you would recognize Lyra as a fellow druid. In fact, I think Lyra, you still have the moon druid. What's the word I'm looking for? Tiara? Not a tiara. What's the
Circlet?
Circlet. Thank you. The moon druid circlet that you wear that still has the symbol of the moon on it. Your old circle. Ember, you would definitely recognize Lyra as belonging to a druid circle. You've never seen a druid wielding a quarterstaff that's overgrown with wood mushroom, with like tree fungus, and yeah,
there's probably a couple of death caps coming off one side.
Yeah, and wherever Lyra sort of moves, behind her, almost imperceptible sometimes in the air, these little like glistening, almost like silvery scales of spores are shed and lie upon the ground and sort of drift in wind
Danger if I
behind her.
swear.
Yeah.
Well, I like this, what you have here. This is very interesting. Haven't seen that before.
Yep. I have made my own circle of mushrooms.
Oh, circle of mushrooms. Well, I come from a little small group that makes our own circle of fire. Hence my little friend Flicker over there.
Oh, hello. Thank you for saving our asses back there, by the way.
Oh, no. Thank you for saving me. I was trying to find a way out and didn't see an opening until you guys managed to stumble along as well.
Would you like to make a history check, Lyra, to see if you've heard of Circle of Wildfire before?
Mm-hmm.
Fire druids before?
History. Sorry, just reloading the character sheet. Definitely my strong suit.
Yeah, I know. 8. You've heard of a group of druids quite different to many of the other circles that your teachers and grove stewards would have called them dangerous pyromaniacs, best avoided.
Wow.
But you've definitely heard of this group of druids before. You've never met one, you've never spoken with one before. And as you watch, Ember's fiery companion moves up, nuzzles into him, and then climbs up onto his shoulder, wrapping its tail partly around his neck, almost like a scarf, and perching almost a little bit protectively on his shoulders.
Ember is very sweet. Have you known him long?
Oh, for most of my life. Ever since I was old enough to get my lovely little family heirloom.
You're about to say that when you were 10 years old, you were able to
yeah,
able to get your first wildfire spirit.
Oh wow!
Exactly. We've been together for a little while.
The town chieftain, right? Named the Chieftain Oak.
Actually, Birch. Yeah, Grove leader Birch.
That's it.
From the Little Root Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
Little
Flicker's
Root
been with me for a long time now, as we've been traveling around.
So have you just out sort of on your leave of absence from the circle, or did you just sort of decide to go and never come back? I mean, it's always weird seeing a druid
Have you been
outside
banished? Like,
Yeah.
who'd you kill?
I've gone on a bit of a quest, you can say, to find some other towns like me, trying to improve myself, level up, kind of, get to a higher level of wildfire control, really. So, been venturing out, trying to do that, and it's something for my group anyway that we tend to do by ourselves when we get to a certain age. So,
Krasus
by
is going to roll
myself.
a history check. on
Always
this.
have friends.
Krasus would be interested in figuring out a bit about this if he can. Oh, 20 from Krasus.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Krasus, this fucking know-it-all, goes like, yes, I've read about this.
This
yes.
fucking know-it-all.
Wizards, right?
I've read about
Classic
this.
Krasus.
Yes, there are druids who go out and travel around to the different groves. I hear there's 7 or 8 different places where you can go, and you have to best your other grove keepers in single combat, and the winner gains some sort of motif. Is it like they paint or something on your body, and then you?
Yes, you collect charms as you travel around. So, yeah, gives
that's
me
to
a
be
little bit of-
recognized as like a fully realized like elder druid or something like that, like a champion. I think I've heard the word used.
Yeah, like a grandmaster of wildfire, whatever you want to call it, a master of sorts at least.
I heard a rumor, at least, like, after you go through these challenges, isn't there one final challenge where, like, a bunch of them all just gang up on you or something? Like,
You've never
it
heard
may
of
have
this
just been a
before,
rumor.
Ember. This sounds very unfair.
I mean, we normally are pretty fair with each other. It's it's just some sparring. It's doesn't sound that violent, but
It very rarely devolves into a fight to the death.
I think my grandmother may have been exaggerating when I was expressing some interest that that would make sense.
Ember, you've heard of one situation a few years back, actually probably maybe a few generations back, between Rayod and Gari, who actually did devolve into a fight to the death outside the final grove, and Gari was slain by Rayod, and he took the champion title after that point.
so what I say? No, normally doesn't devolve into that turn away single tier rolls down the eye.
At one time it did.
One time it did, yeah.
Once.
They put new rules in place about that very quickly after that incident.
This sparring you mentioned is rather interesting. I partook in some sparring myself with some of the other monastic covens. Although we did come up against some formidable telekinetic individuals that were quite super effective on us.
Oh, I'd love to I'd say meet them as long as they're friendly to me. But
Of course.
normally I go around. I trusted these people. They said they had a grand quest, and I thought, well, I mean, I want to be a grand master. If they've got a grand quest, it makes sense. So. But then they wanted to take Flicker from me, and no, that's not what I'm here for.
As you say that, Flicker's claws dig into your shoulder even more, Ember, and Flicker crouches down, pressing himself against you protectively.
We thought we would take a bit more of a diplomatic approach, but didn't go too well. Yeah.
I noticed the ropes. That's why I thought straight away that clearly you must be, well, didn't know if you would be my friend, but clearly you were their enemies as well. So,
Yes, quite.
so what happened to Melania, was it?
Oh, she's incapacitated outside with some other friends. We're not alone. We've got some other allies here with us as well.
I'm going to say incapacitated and point to the other 2 bodies we have on the ground.
Oh, no. I summoned a giant stone fist and crushed her almost to death with it.
Those guys did.
You're a rock type, you say?
Yes. Well, I like to maintain a versatile set of moves. Yes.
Perfect.
Full
Sounds good.
coverage, so they say.
We thought we'd keep some alive. I thought maybe I kind of look over it at Harry. I'm like, I thought we'd keep at least one alive, but that was a rather brutal display there, Harry.
Yeah, we couldn't have him talk in and let the others, could we, eh?
That's fair. I mean,
Yes,
a rather
we
gruesome way to
murdered
go. I just pummeled my foes to death with my fists. But that's rather gruesome, Harry. My God.
Yes, well, contusions are obviously a much nicer way to die, aren't they, Niles?
Yes, I couldn't imagine doing anything worse than that. Definitely not.
Well, I have heard if you strike a man in the right spot, they just go down like that. It's quite impressive. Been trying to work on that, but it's a little hard. I thought that guy would have gone down a little bit harder, but a couple more hits would have been enough.
You're probably exhausted, but we've been fighting, we haven't had a rest since, before we arrived to the town with all the metal spiders and
No, we had a rest in the carriage, Lyra. On our way here, we had a rest.
A long one. We haven't had
we haven't had slept for more than a few hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been a while. I'm getting a bit tired.
We should probably let do we want to let Ember know about the mechanical creatures we saw?
Ooh, mechanical creatures. That sounds very interesting.
Ember, what's that on your hand?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I touched this thing and then it exploded, and then I have an extra gem. I honestly thought it might have been one of the ones I'm trying to collect, but then
Krasus holds up his hand, showing the exact same.
So does
device.
Niles.
Yep.
Lyra reach out to see if it's magnetic to ours.
It is exactly the same response you had with yours. Ember, as Lyra tries to hold her hand close to yours, there's this repulsion away, pushing them away from each other.
Oh,
Hell
what? Do you guys know what this is?
Absolutely not, but we do know that they're mildly magnetic, and then she reaches out and does the same thing to Krasus.
That's not quite true, though, Lyra. We did have that experience in the cart.
The weird dream thing?
Yes.
Yes, Ember, have you had any weird dreams since you got this thing in your hand?
What I dream about is none of your business.
To be honest, Ember, you've not really. I mean, this thing has been fairly inactive since you got it implanted in your hand. There's nothing's changed about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, aside from it being in my hand, it hasn't really done anything. I thought it was just stuck in there. I thought I might have to try and dig it out eventually, but no, I've just kind of left it. Nothing.
Well, if you do have any strange dreams while we're still with you, let us know, because we've had a couple since we got these things, and I'd like to know if it wasn't just us. It'd be good to know if it was other people as well.
No, I'll let you know. It's good to see other people that are going through something similar, or have something similar.
Yes.
I feel like we're part of a team.
Have you seen anyone else with these things?
No, never. Not down here. Aside from, there was Sparkles that I did see go past at one point, but I didn't get a good look at it.
We had a suspicion that individual might have one, but
This is rather interesting. What else do you know about this Sparkles fellow?
Well, he's big. He sparkles, and I don't know if I know much else, to be dead honest with you. He wanted Flicker. That's pretty much it. I don't know much else than that. I was hoping to come down and find out what their grand plan was, but they didn't really tell me much.
No.
Oh, that's so rude when villains don't reveal their grand plan all in one go, isn't it?
Oh, I thought we were
monologue?
Yeah, so I don't know. I said I'd help, and I thought they'd let me know. But
Ember, you said that there were others down here. Do you know where they might be located? Do you know if we're close to where they're being held?
Owen,
Just one room to the north. Just down the corridor, take a left, take another left.
Yeah, no, I could take you there. Well, when you're ready, we can.
So we're pretty close then. That's promising.
Very close.
We can maybe get them out and.
We still have to deal with the Exalted one. Like, we need to figure out what way around him, eh?
Well, we did come here with the goal of setting the villagers free. This Exalted one is a little bit of a variable. Do we feel as though we want to deal with him right now, or should we prioritize the safety of the villagers first?
I'm just saying we have to be out of me. Further up, there's a split in the tunnel, so it sounded like there's a chance there might be different directions, eh?
Okay. Well, look, I'm always happy to. I'm still. Have we taken our rest yet at this point, or
Yeah, I'd say this is during the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy to go have a look afterwards, and I mean, if we need to, we can try and sneak past with everyone with Flicker. He's very good at getting you in and out of places very quickly, as long as I can see where we're going.
I noticed. Rather impressive.
Oh, he's an impressive little guy, but hopefully he's going stronger every day.
Well, what are we feeling? Do we try and make our way towards the villages, or do we deal with this exalted one?
Villagers and get the hell out.
Yeah,
I'm with Lyra on this one.
We can. Yeah.
No, that suits me as well. I agree.
I say we get the villagers out, and then we deal with this exalted one once the villagers are safe.
Or we just run away.
We could do
I'm just
that.
worried, though, Harry, that they'll try and do this stuff again, if you know what I mean. If we don't stop them now, they'll keep convincing poor, innocent travellers that they are on a grand journey, or capturing townsfolk that they come across. I feel like we probably need to do something about this.
I'm with Krasus on that one.
I don't disagree, but we can always come back with the reinforcements or like plan and regroup, because like, didn't someone say that he can turn people to stone? Hey.
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking if he's more than we can handle, you know, the lot of us won't be around to sort of help other villagers or live to see another day.
Did I think he looked tough when I saw him, Owen?
Oh, like, hard to say. Do you want to make me an insight check? And we'll do it as like you sizing this person up in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit terrified. I'm a bit petrified of getting petrified.
17 Ember. As you think back, physically this person doesn't seem too scary at all. Their sort of long, willowy limbs are always partially concealed by these flowing robes. And the crystals that jut through their skin, you've noticed sometimes this almost like a whitish fluid collecting around them, almost like blood forming around the crystals, but this sort of like whitish, clear liquid. Physically, you don't think they're too much of a threat, but you've also seen them like just sort of wave their hands and create a chair out of stone that they then sat in to watch. You've seen them sort of slowly rise up into the air under this small vortex of wind rather than walk. You get the sense this person is actually quite a powerful spellcaster, but physically not very strong.
I mean, from what I've seen from Sparkles, I think we could take him physically, but I mean, the things that he's been able to do, like with his powers, I mean, it's hard to tell if we would need reinforcements or not.
What if we send a message out to our friends outside, get them to meet us in here, and then we launch a surprise attack on this Sparkles, as you say, Ember?
I don't know his name at all, do I? No.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree. That sounds like a great idea. We can try and...
We do have some allies outside, that's right, yes. Good. I think that's a good idea.
Power in numbers.
Should we like save the prisoners per se, and then go?
Oh, yes. I think so. Yes.
Just wondering if they're not. Well, let's have a look. That's someone who's a bit sneaky. I mean, Ember, you were able to change your form to look like one of them. Can you do that again?
Oh, I certainly can. Now that I've had a bit of a rest, I can do that every time. But I can only hold it for so long, and I need a rest again before I change.
Well, why don't you and Lyra, and I'll do a little bit of a minor illusion of your face, Lyra, to make you look a bit more like Melania. Why don't the two of you look down the corridor, see what you can find, see how likely it is that we're going to be able to get these prisoners out without being spotted. Just have a bit of a look, and then report back. What do you think? I could maybe send Sova with you. I could maybe have Sova sit on your shoulder, Lyra, underneath the hood, if you kept the hood up. And then I could see
You might
through your
make me
eyes.
seem a little bit more Melania's height as well.
Yes, okay. Perfect. And I'll make a little illusion so that we can see what you're seeing through the eyes of the owl as well. How does that sound?
Down to give it a go.
After an hour passes during your short rest, the other thing I forgot to mention is flicker fades back away, and the gemstone on your chest embedded into your armor, the fire within it sort of slowly dies down, just leaving it the same dull crystal that it was before. Because I realized the other thing you could do if you wanted to, rather than even throwing it, you could like grab it and then pull out like the red fire that then becomes the wildfire spirit, like you're actually like summoning it out of the they go like to that red light. I was like, oh shit, I just realized that matches up really nicely too. Super easy to become a Pokemon trainer in D&D if you pick the wildfire druid. I mean,
what's this Pokemon?
What's this Pokemon trainer? What am I talking about?
Wait, what?
What? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, well,
Sounds good.
Lyra, hold still for a moment, and I'll just... You watch as Krasus flips through his spellbook, concentrates, and then waves his hand over your face, giving it the appearance of Melania. Sova tucks herself behind your hood and nuzzles up to you, her warm feathers pressing up against you. Ember, I would say you'd probably be interested in Sova. Sova looks a lot like an owl, but her feathers are this sort of like grey-white colour, and there are strips of bioluminescence sparkling in the feathers. And where her face is, these long feathers protrude out. Before you realise they're not actually feathers, they're almost like proboscis. And at the end, these glowing lights forming almost like an anglerfish's lure at the end. I'll blow up the token so you can see. This like glowing bioluminescent appearance. This is an astral owl, a rather rare subspecies of owl. Lyra, as Sova nuzzles in, her warm, soft feathers pressing up against you, she hoots very softly in your ears.
Lightly pats Sova. I was like, well, shall we? I'm gonna need you to maybe try and do the talking on this one, because even though I look like her, I definitely don't sound like her. Last time I tried it, I got hit in the head by a giant boulder. But you can change your voice, can't you? Or is it just your clothes and face?
I believe disguise self is just clothes and face. Illusion around you. Let me have a quick look. I'm pretty confident you can make it look different. Yeah. Yep. No, unfortunately, nothing about your voice.
We both came down with a bad case of the cold.
No. Okay. Easy as. Perfect. Ember, who do you disguise yourself as? The same figure as before?
I would go the same one as before, because it probably makes sense. They saw Melania in that figure, so I'd go for the same. Look.
Yep. Alrighty. Ember and Lyra, as the two of you begin walking down the corridor heading towards the split, Krasus closes his eyes, summons up a minor illusion, and begins concentrating on the minor illusion through Sova's eyes. Oh, does that then disrupt the minor illusion?
They're both concentration.
Yeah, so then no. Is it concentration minor illusion? I'm not sure it is. Is it?
I have no clue. I should have spelled it out.
It doesn't have a C. I don't think it's concentration.
Oh, hell yeah then.
And it lasts for a minute. Oh, okay. It only lasts for a minute, so it's not like the face is going to give you too much, actually. Okay, he does that, and then he continually recasts his minor illusion to make the appearance. Oh, go quickly! I can't do this for very long. Run! As you head down the corridor. Perfect. Lyra and Ember, as you begin walking down the corridor towards the northwest and head through, the pathway splits after only a few feet, revealing two rooms. One towards the northwest of where you are, where the pathway continues, and one towards the northeast. Peering through the gap into the room at the northeast, you can see this very large open cavern filled with tables, dissection desks, what looks like lab equipment, a few smaller cages, as well as these softly glowing lanterns filled with this very beautiful white ethereal light coming from beyond. Standing to attention, looking through one of the cages, is an Earth Genasi who doesn't see you as you walk up. as you sort of get to that crossroads and begin sort of peering in, I think from where Ember is that Ember or Lyra? I think from where Ember is, Ember can see a familiar figure. Can you see the figure at the far end of the room, dressed in white? Yeah, cool. So Ember can see the figure, the white cloaked figure, and the crystalline scars cutting through their clothing. The Exalted One, standing with their back to you, leaning over what looks to be some sort of large stone table, looking through what looks to be almost like a series of jars, peering at them intently. Lyra, you can just whisper to Sova, and then Krasus will repeat what you say out loud.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it out loud then?
All right, big sparkly bad guy that away. Potential cages and villages, maybe this way. I can only see one cage from here. Lightly guarded. Bad guy definitely here.
Krasus repeats that, but they can't get a message back to you guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Lyra's gonna gesture to Ember to sort of let's go back, sort of like maybe she tries to sort of stick her head around the corner of the room that has the guard with his back to them, just to see if she can spot the rest of the villagers, or if they're more likely to be in big sparkly bad guy's cave.
As you move up towards the edge of the room, Lyra, and peek in, you can't see any large cages. In fact, the room seems to be mostly full of this research equipment, but you can see the same Genasi from before, standing with his back to the wall, whistling tunelessly to himself as he looks up, cleaning his fingernails.
Yeah, she darts back.
I need you to make me a stealth check, please, Lyra. Don't
Come on,
goof
rolls.
this.
Oh, thank fuck.
22. You just quietly sneak back to Ember.
Yeah, and then she's just gesturing to Ember, it's like, let's, they're probably, if they're not that way, they're that way, and we're not going that way right now.
Okay.
But all trying to do it with hand signals.
Yeah, look, I agree. We can go back. I can try and turn invisible and check out one of the rooms further north if you wanted me to, but I mean, by ourselves, I think it's going to be a bit hard.
I think
to take them on.
He seems to have some sort of extra sense. He managed to spot us even while we were all hiding before, so he might have some sort of magical sense or really, really good hearing. But yeah, so she's just trying to, as quietly as possible, just hustle back down the hallway into the room where the others are.
Alright, I'll follow along.
Brilliant. As you guys get back to the room, Krasus ends the illusion that he'd been creating of the map and goes, well, that was spooky. I thought for sure you were going to get caught then, Lyra. I was going to try and signal for you not to keep walking into the room, but you managed to wriggle out of that quite well.
That's skin on my teeth. I guess the question is, are we going to bank on that the villagers are in the room with big sparkly bad guy, or down the hallway covered in spider webs that we crossed on the other side of the bridge earlier? I mean,
I was looking through Sova's eyes and I couldn't see anyone else in that room apart from those three figures. I wonder if they're up towards the room to the north west. Ember, does that line up with what you know?
No, that makes sense to me. I believe I came from that way when they brought me here, so that definitely makes sense.
So the question is, are we going to be able to get people out down this corridor safely, or are we maybe going to have to deal with this individual first?
Can we?
I don't know.
I mean, we can try.
I'm just concerned if we do manage to, if we get caught, for example, and we've got a whole bunch of villagers in the corridors with us, could go really badly for them and for us. Could just be panic and confusion.
I think we should deal with any threats, I think, to make it as safe as possible.
And we have the element of surprise right now.
We do.
So, shall I send Sova to go and fetch Tetra and Nauthiz, bring them back, and all of us together take on this threat?
Yeah. But
Yeah, I guess,
make sure
I
they
guess so.
make sure they take care of do something to our definitely not hostages. Or even if we bring Melania back with us as a hostage.
Cynthia and Nomu are there with them. Do you think those two, if they're tied up, and we took
Against
away her
Melania and
spellcasting-
two Earth Genasis.
We took away her spellcasting focus.
We didn't take away their fists.
They are tied up, though, aren't they? Did we do a good job? Who tied them up? Harry, you tied them up. How'd you do?
Oh yeah, I think I did alright. But I mean, like, we could always just dig a hole in bury them and like upwards so that their heads above the ground. And
I wonder if an Earth
that's like
Genasi
tying
that
them
might
up
help them,
in-
though.
Okay, well, we can hang him from a tree by his feet.
Wow.
Harry's
dark
a dark
turn.
one tonight.
Yeah, we could lynch them.
I made friends with them.
Wow.
It's not dark. It's adaptable. Hey, it's mentioned
I'm a
to be adaptable.
bad little bunny.
Jesus. That's bleak.
Maybe we could get to that if we need to. Harry, noted. What kind of merchant are you again?
A good one.
A
Do you
merchant
deal in
death.
death, perhaps? Krasus.
I make a living.
I'll send Sova out to go and fetch the others. Sova? And you watch as the owl nods, hoots, and then flies rapidly down the corridor. Well, I'm sure they'll be here in a moment. Shall we prepare ourselves for battle? Before we do, Ember, your little fiery familiar thing. You can summon that again, right? I notice it's not here right now.
I can. He only has enough power to stick around for an hour at a time, maybe twice before I have to take a break. I have to, we have to relax. It takes a lot of energy to bring him out. So
Where does he go?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't really know because he can't tell me, but he kind of lives in here, I suppose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you pointing at your heart, or are you pointing at like the thing on your chest?
No, it's the power doesn't come from within. It's literally just within this little. I hold up a little.
Yeah, probably a good chance to talk more about this. So it looks like a section of white marble with a red jasper emerging from within. It's been clearly polished and looked after and very carefully shaped into this almost spherical design. But yeah, the white stone underneath and then giving way to this red jasper crystal, it's very beautiful. And it's clearly been very well cared for and very well looked after for a very long time.
Yeah, so this has been handed down in my family for, as long as I've known. Like, it's, I'm not quite sure where it came from or how it came to be, but that's, it's always just been the little flicker in there, I suppose.
Well, it seems very useful. You're able to kind of look like you were teleporting people with fire. Always a big fan of that.
Yeah, no, if I want to, I can constantly just keep jumping from spot to spot. So, I mean, the only trick is that it has to be somewhere that I can see, unfortunately. He doesn't have to know where he's going, but I can send him there regardless. So, it might be handy to try and get the people out of the cage, because I can see inside the cage and back out. But...
yes, that's what I was thinking, and I was wondering if maybe we could use it for an ambush as well, potentially.
Completely agree.
Whether you want at least 4 of us in the room at once.
Exactly right. Exactly. We can definitely take them by surprise.
We can launch a bit of a quick attack.
Ember, you do have this claw from a large. It's more of a talon taken from a large bird, the same bird that you have the feathers from as well. That your mother, when she gave it to you, told you would help speed your attacks and let you strike first if you needed to. Quick claw.
Like a 20% chance of that happening.
Yeah.
Niles looks at the quick claw and he's like, well, that's a bit of bad taste there. Looks at his own claws. He's just like,
It's definitely not from an Owlin or an
No,
arrow.
I know.
Probably from like a very like a giant eagle or something like that.
Okay.
Does he have smooth sand and a silk scarf as well by any chance? Actually, if you look at the character art, there is a silk scarf. I did add that. I couldn't resist. I've chucked in a few other Pokemon references on the character art. I actually haven't fully finished it, but there are a couple of other Pokemon references as well. And when I finish the artwork for the Wildfire Spirit, it'll be even more obvious.
I think it's funny that Harry has definitely revealed himself to be a dark type. This session.
Yeah, old Auntie Lopunny didn't really get along with me, eh?
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Well, it sounds like you've got the beginnings of a plan forming. I think that is a really good place to wrap up for tonight. We will bring Michael and Claire back with us next session and have a full party showdown. That would be awesome. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, brilliant. Well, that seems like a really good place to wrap up. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much, Simon, for rejoining us. Very, very excited to have you back on the team, and I'll definitely get the intro updated with both Simon and Dave's new introductions. But from all of us here tonight, that is everything. Please have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again before you know it. But until then, everybody, goodbye. Farewell! Bye-bye!
Bye.